Assalamu alaikum, namaste, sat sri akal, good evening to all my viewers around the world. Amrina, welcome you again. Thank you for tuning in and loving me as the way you always do. I always get promising notes at your end, and this time again, a special guest. And you know, imagine now this special guest is someone special and very dear to my heart. And loving me as the way you always do. I always get promising notes at your end, and this time again, a special guest. And you know, imagine now this special guest is someone special and very dear to my heart. Loving me as the way you always do. Okay, and now let me put on to it. Okay, and now let me put on to it. This special guest is, what more can I say about her? My goodness, she is CEO, filmmaker, writer, actor, speaker, and personal growth innovator. Isn't that simply remarkable and phenomenal work from her end? Wow. And what I should say now, listen to it very carefully. She has done Masters in International Business Law from King's College of London. She has been a CEO, director of Outperform since 2012 for renowned companies like Mercedes-Benz. Now, 7 International Filmfare Awards, Best Debut Director Award at World of Film Festival Glasgow. And you know what is the reason of doing Project Papa? It is one of the heart-touching movies you should all watch. She loves to discover people. She believes in total potential whenever she do something. I have watched it. All my friends did it. And you all do that too. She's here with me in spite of her busy schedule, took out time to spend few words with us. And let me tell one more thing about her speciality as well. I was going through her profile. The Project Papa went on iTunes and Google Play last year and is now streaming worldwide Netflix from 7th June 2020. And just imagine, she's doing wonders. One character as a director, fine, acceptable for me. Filmmaker, okay, but speaker, innovator. Put your hands together to welcome who? Kanika Batra, all the way from Bangalore, from my session. Welcome, Kanika. Namaste. How are you doing, sweetheart?
Welcome, Amrina. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you, sweetheart. Kanika, tell me something about how the journey started and why did you went through the scale of being such a class person into masters and then law, as I've gone through your profile, but I want to hear it from you so that the viewers will have more better choice of understanding why I brought you over here.
Sure. So I did my law, as you said, in King's College London, my master's in international business law, after which I came back to India. I did corporate law with a top corporate firm for about 3-4 months. And then I just felt like my heart wasn't in it. It wasn't for me. Incidentally, when my father came to visit me in London, we had to admit him for an emergency bypass. So he had a heart operation in London, and that really shook me. Decided to come back, chanced upon the field of learning and development and corporate training. And I took over a company called Outperform, and I've been doing that for the past 8 years. As you said, we help companies develop their biggest asset, which is their people, through programs and workshops and behavioral training. And that's what I've been doing for the past 8 years for bread and butter and for business. As far as the movie is concerned, I've been into theater since I was a little girl. So I've performed, I used to dance with a dance company. And about in 2015, early 2015 and 2014, I went for a holiday with my father and my mom and my family. And I felt like, I thought dad was getting older. At the same time, I had a lot of friends around me that were losing their parents without having the chance to have those conversations, create those memories. And I just felt like something was compelling me to spend more time with my dad. So I said, you know what, let's do something together. It's always been his dream to act in a film. So I have no experience in filmmaking, no background in filmmaking, but I said, let's just see where it goes. So that's how it all started. And I said, okay, I want to tell this story and I want to do it with you. And that's where we started, and that's where the journey of Project Papa began.
Why did you keep the name Project Papa? You could have kept something else. Why that particular? Because normally people, they are unable to understand when you tune into the movie and like, oh, this is so interesting, Project Papa. What is this? Like, what it will be behind that? So why?
The intention was to show, I mean, it's all about this girl who is so worried, looking at her father growing older and is not able to come to terms with it, that she puts her entire life and schedule on hold to really take him up as a project, to say, I want to fix this man. I want to spend time with him. I want him to live his best life possible right now. And of course, if you have watched the film, so I'm not going to reveal the end of the film, but when you watch the end, I think the name of the film makes sense.
Yes. Viewers, Kanika was honest enough not to reveal the end of the end part of the movie. But let me tell you one thing. When I was actually watching the movie, it has got a lot of intimacy of expressing your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions towards your parents, because you hardly give time to them, and you are so busy in your work and your day-to-day life and your other things that you hardly take out time for the most precious gift from Almighty, which is already there with you, living, and who has put their efforts to bring you on to such a nice and a good life that you're living today. So she has done a lot of promises in that movie and trying to convey so many messages towards the audience with her movie. Okay, running on to another question, Kanika, I want to ask one more thing. How did you feel getting into a film line, which is very new to you, and at the same time you have to give your best, and then naturally in 7 international ways it's been flowing your movie and then streaming on Netflix. So how was that fear and then joy and everything? Can you just share a bit of it, please?
It was a complete roller coaster. So I have acted in 2-3 films, Bangalore-based films before, but I have never done a film, entirely from the writing and the directing. And I mean, this was my baby. So it was a roller coaster, and there were a lot of challenges. There were a lot of obstacles because I was learning and executing at the same time. There was a lot that I had to repeat in terms of processes, whether it was, sound or color or dubbing, technical stuff. But it was just joyous. I think for me, the happiest moments were, on day 1 of the shoot, when I looked around me and I saw 30 people on set, and the crowdfunding campaign had just gotten over 2 months ago. So we actually ran a crowdfunding campaign. We got 154 backers from across the globe that funded a little amounts, and we managed to get 30 lakhs in crowdfunding. Over and above that, of course, I put in my own savings to make the film happen. But being there on the first day of shoot was completely just, it was very overwhelming to see everything playing out together, because there were so many people who came and left. There were so many obstacles and challenges along the way. But I always believe that the will must be stronger than the skill. So, it was a closer walk with God, I'll tell you that, because I don't think I would have had the persistency to persist, or the courage or the patience to persist, if it was not for God's grace. There was something at every step of the way that said, okay, one more step, okay, one more step. I thought the process would take 6 months, but it took 2-3 years of my life, and it was beautiful because at every step of the way I learned something new. Yes, we got into 7 international film festivals. Just to correct you, they're not film fair, but film festivals. And that was joyous too, because I got to go to Scotland and Glasgow and attend a festival there and represent India and talk about the movie and the journey. I won the best debutante director award there at the festival. So that was also, again, grace of God, you know. So I think every step of the way, when I look back, there's a lot that I would have done differently. Maybe things would have happened quicker. But all in all, I feel like God's plan just played out. We got a PVR release across 7 cities in India, iTunes, Google Play, Netflix. What more can you ask for? You know, it's really just God's gift. And for me, the only intention with this movie was, it was never to really become a filmmaker or become a director. It was to get the movie out there, do something with my dad, and most importantly, get the message out there. So when I have people like yourself and many others writing to me that, you know, the message of the movie touched my heart. And I'm spending time with my parents, or I'm making amends with my father, and so many such messages. I think that for me is victory from the whole process.
Yeah.
So
God bless you for that. Thank you so much. No, it's indeed true from your side. Moving on to the another question is like, normally when the directors, they wanted to have the best debut from their side, they normally choose an actress or a debut actress, an ongoing actress for their film to make a big hit. But in your case, I have seen, because honestly telling, when I was streaming, when I was like watching it, I tried to rewind it and see Kanika Batra, and then again you were there, and then I rewind it, and I was like, oh wow, she is the director and she herself is the actress. So it was more curious for me to watch the movie in a more curiosity way. So I want to ask you why you have chosen yourself to be in that particular block instead of choosing someone else as the debut directors do.
So because of the intention with which I started the film, what was more important for me was to act than direct. So it was more important that I capture myself with my dad on screen, immortalize my relationship with him. That was goal for me. So actually, to be honest with you, initially, I didn't think that I would be directing the film. I had a lot of people coming and going who were helping out with direction, but it didn't work out because your visions are very different. And I knew the story that I wanted to tell. So it was actually a few weeks before shoot that I shot a rehearsal film. I got the whole cast together, and, you know, we just took a camera, and I said, I want to see what the movie looks like so I can tell anyone else who's helping me on set to do that. And miraculously, I had, you know, someone who was to do music for the film come on board 2 weeks before the shoot. He said, I'll help you with direction. So he was there on set. So he was able to call action. He was able to, you know, help set up and all of that so that I could do hair and makeup and get into character. And then post the shoot, he moved on to another project. So again, God's divine timing. Just when I needed someone to be there, he was there. And I still got to tell the story exactly the way I wanted to tell the story. You know, but for me, the goal was to always act in this film first. I did consider, and a lot of people did tell me, you know, why don't you send your script to Bombay? Why don't you get someone else to do the role? Get someone else. But like I said, for me, it was always, this is about
So you never had that fear of like, oh, if it if it doesn't do well, then what I'm gonna do? That fear was not there, like never, or that fear was there?
I think fear is always a part of the creative process.
Wow, superb.
You know?
True, very true.
I think with any art form, any art that it could be a painting, a book, anything, there's always that fear that people may not like it may not turn out the way you want to, maybe I'm not telling the story I want to tell. So I think the fear drives you. But as long as you have faith, that's a little more than that fear, I think you're okay. Because you know, the faith allows you to keep your eye on the goal, the victory in your soul, and then you just take one step at a time and you move along with that fear. So I'd be lying if I say there was no fear. There was a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of fear and a lot of,
I love that. That's nice.
you know, yeah, a lot of, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. How am I going to do this? You know, and in the middle, I did get a little bit of professional help, you know, here and there. But again, like I said, for me, it was because it's my first film. I knew the story I wanted to tell. It was just about figuring out how to tell it. So I learned how to edit. I like basically just immersed myself in the process completely. And yeah, moved with fear and faith.
No, in fact, normally, you know, when you ask people, it's like, no, I was not in that fear, but okay, kind of. But your answer was, this is the best part about Kanika's movie of Project Papa is that whatever she's saying, it's revealed in the movie. So do watch on Netflix and don't miss that. I'm sure about it.
Yes.
Whatever you are leaving behind in life, a small minute thing also definitely going to touch your heart. Kanika, one more thing. When I was going through your profile, I read this. You said that you always love to discover people with their, you're fascinated with people and their potential behavior. So how do you come to know and how do you come across with such kind of humans? Because everyone is different, like all the five fingers are different. So what that potential or what that thing which fascinates you in human beings or in people whom you interact?
I think every human being comes with a story. And when I was in London, I was actually interning under a very well-known Queen's Counsel called Toby Landau, who, you know, so Queen Counsel is someone who can represent the Queen. And I was actually interning directly under him. It was a fantastic opportunity. Got to work with him briefly at the Supreme Court of London. And I remember something he said to me when we were in the midst of a negotiation and I was just observing. There was a negotiation going on in this major case. And he said, you know, with anything you do once you step out of these doors, you have to remember that people need to become your project. And I said, you know, what does that mean? And he said, you just need to make people your project. You observe how they act, how they interact, how they respond, how they look, how they behave. And that gives you a lot of intel and information to build relationships, negotiate, you know, foster growth in people. And little did I know that a year or so later, I would get into an industry that required me to actually really understand people and understand behavior patterns. So I incorporated what he said to me and I actually made people my project. I think I've been doing this as a kid, but I started doing it much more consciously. So I would observe people's energies, how they looked, how they felt, how they reacted, responded. Because, you know, for us, our job is to really take someone from wherever they are and help them get a little bit better. Could be in any area of their life. It could be confidence, it could be writing skills, it could be presentation skills, anything that just helps them upskill a little bit to be able to perform better. So I started doing that and I'm really interested in people and their stories. So I think I take pride in the fact that I can have a conversation with anybody and get to know a lot about them in a few minutes. Because I cherish the information. I'm actually genuinely very, very interested in other human beings. So I think in life, personally, as well as professionally, there's an amalgamation because what I love to do here helps me with what I do professionally as well, which is coach and develop people.
Yeah, great. Was it a little difficult for you to convince your papa, your dad, whatever you call him, or he was actually standing side by side you, saying that, fine, Kanika, you've got a good project in hand and let's do it? Or he was a little reluctant because normally, you know, our parents is like, oh no, beta, chhod do, leave it, like, you know, I can't do it. Was he like that? Because I saw the movie. I don't want people to, you know, I want them to watch and then understand my question. So that's why I'm asking you.
There were a lot of people around me who said, don't do the film, don't do the project. You're going to waste your time, you're going to waste your money. Don't do it. You're just wasting time, and you're not a filmmaker, and most films don't even get viewed by people. And there were a lot of people along the way that told me that. They said, make a short film, etc. But to answer your question, my dad was never one of them. He has always been a very strong propagator of art, talent, passion, everything. So even in school, to give you an example, he would argue with the teachers and say, it's okay if they're coming not first rank, as long as they're doing other things, as long as they're doing the extracurricular activities. So he has always been very, very encouraging. Of course, throughout the process, when things were taking time and there were standstills, I think we were also questioning ourselves and saying, okay, maybe we should just throw in the towel. But he never said, don't do it. He always encouraged it. In fact, when other people said, don't do it, he said, just don't listen. He said, take it out from Nadia. It's okay, just do it. So that has always been my dad for me. And I think, that's why I was really keen on doing Project Papa with him.
Viewers, the reason I'm asking this question with Kanika was because I wanted her to reveal the answer. The answer is revealed in the movie itself. The father and the daughter combination, you can believe with your eyes onto it, and you have to watch this, seriously. The kind of love, the affection, the feelings, which Kanika actually wanted to show to the audience, how you have to react with your parents, and how you have to start caring about them. Very minute things she has observed about her father, how he was behaving a little differently. So it is nice. Seriously, you have to watch it. Please do that. Last question, Kanika, before I leave you, because I really don't want to, but time constraint, I have to do that. Any new project coming in hand? If so, please share it with us. Don't share the story, but at least share what you want to do and what you will be doing. That will be little, the curiosity will build up. Please.
There are so many things I want to do. All my ideas are on the sheet of paper. Completely blank. No, I'm kidding. There's, I think, I do believe I love to tell stories. I am a storyteller. And I think whether it's a visual project like a film or whether it's a book, there's definitely something that's going to come up. There's definitely something that's going to come up soon. I think it's in my heart and mind, and I'm not quite sure what it is, but by the grace of God, there'll be something I'll be sharing with you soon.
Inshallah, I pray that it comes soon. But short and sweet, last but not the least, will you be accepting any kind of stories being sent to you by someone who writes stories or, who's good into lyrics or something like that? Or you have got a proper team with you who will be giving you the stories, or you believe in total expectations from your side itself on the paper? How do you want to go with this? You're open to the channels or no?
No, I'm open to seeing and collaborating with people's art for sure. The only thing is I'm quite a do-it-yourself person. So if I had to give you an example, when people have asked me to direct ad films, post this, I've said no, because I haven't had the confidence that I can direct somebody else's vision or story. For me, it's a very holistic process where the story is the hero and the medium is secondary. So the lyrics, the technicality, all of that falls as part of the storytelling, which usually generally here and here. But having said that, I'm very encouraging of everyone's art. And I think everyone who wants to write something should write something. If you want to sing a song, sing a song. And the virtual world out there now allows us to share things so beautifully with each other. And I'd love to hear people's creativity and art. And, if we ever need to collaborate and see where we can use each other's poems or writing or anything, then of course, why not?
Oh, thank you. I feel a little more motivated now because I do write a lot of poems. So definitely I'll try my best to get into Kanika's next project with my lyrics, hopefully. And then other viewers, whoever is good in writing or something, Kanika is seriously a good human by heart as well, because very short time I have interacted with her. She's been such a kind person, in spite, again, I'm saying she has a very busy schedule, trust me. And she has taken out time for me, and I'm really, really obliged and honored for that. Thank you, Kanika. Before leaving, any message for me or my viewers or somebody, just say a few words for Saudi Arabia viewers, please.
Oh, everyone in Saudi Arabia, I would say, please watch the movie for sure.
Yeah.
Watch the movie. Connect with me on Instagram, on Facebook, Kanika Batra, Kani Batra on Instagram. Website is kanikabatra.in. Just connect with me. But the message that I leave you with is the message that I think I have learned from this journey of mine. It was not easy. It was a closer walk with God. There were many, many times I cried myself to sleep. I asked myself, why am I doing this? You know, I always wanted the end goal to be something very specific. And while there was a delay, God didn't deny it. So I've learned that God's delays are not denials. So what I will say to you with conviction and confidence today is that every dream is actually very doable.
Wow.
So whatever dream that you have, action it, have patience with it, keep God part of the process, and do it with all your heart and all the conviction, no matter what anyone else tells you. You know, as long as it's a practical dream and not,
Yes.
okay, I want to live on the moon or something, but otherwise every dream is doable, and it's possible to use art to share love, tell a message, and just get your dream out there.
Beautiful, amazing, really. Thank you so much, Kanika. It was really good having you on board with me on my session. Viewers, I'm gonna I'll be sharing all Kanika's information after the session gets over about her. About her and Instagram ID, Facebook ID. You can connect with her. And seriously, if you want to go with the flow of being a little artistic and having a collaboration with her, always a paradigm shift is more welcome. So I thank her from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Kanika, for getting in touch again.
Say one more thing, Amrina, sorry. One more thing. You know, a lot of people ask me, how do you make your dream possible? Because how do you do art if you don't have? One thing that I'll tell you, that it's always one for the kitchen and one for the soul. So there are certain things you have to do to make money, to feed yourself, to make sure the kitchen is taken care of. But if you're able to do that, then you can balance it with projects that are for the soul.
Wow. So this is simply a very nice message from you, because you know a lot of people they focus on dream and they forget their important routine life, their basic things.
It has to be
you have to listen to what Kanika is saying. Kanika, the last line, please repeat again, which you said. The kitchen. Yeah, please repeat it, please.
One for the kitchen, one for the soul. So as long as you have a source which takes care of your kitchen, which is your basic needs, so you don't have to think about things like rent and food and just feeding yourself and your family, as long as that's taken care of, you know, and that could be through a job, through business, whatever it is, it allows you to then creatively focus on something for the soul. So it's a lot of balancing work, and it's a lot of effort to do both together, but it's important that you do this, because if you don't do this, this will suffer. So both need attention, and at different phases in your life, one will need more attention than the other, and that's perfectly fine. But you've always got to remember, one for the kitchen, one for the soul, and as you go along in life, you keep sort of juggling between the two so that it feeds your brain, feeds your stomach, and it feeds your heart. So.
Speechless. Thank you so much for actually drawing a line so beautifully with your profession and personal life. Viewers, I think I have not done mistake again of calling such a special guest. I always, I'm good into getting promising notes at your end. And my hardest thanks to Kanika Batra, all the way from Bangalore, if I'm not mistaken, yes. She has taken out time. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for tomorrow's session at 5 p.m. Saudi time, 7:30 India time for Jonathan Augustin, the Lift board director who has actually left many lives. Seriously, you have to watch that on Amrina's session. I thank Kanika Batra again. Thank you so much. Wishing you good luck and prosperity.
Amrina. Thank you.
I'm thankful to Nidhi as well for coordinating so beautifully. Thank you, Kanika. My warm regards to your family, and keep loving me and keep connecting with me whenever I wanted to.
We will stay connected. Thank you so much.
Namaste, dear. Assalamu alaikum, viewers. Stay tuned for tomorrow's session as well. Amrina will be back soon. Bye-bye.